Hello, everybody, and welcome to the TARDIS Zone's NuWhoZone. We're here for Cold War. Yeah. I like this episode, actually, I have to say. Just seeing there, Chris is having problems with his DVD player, so we're going to give him a chance to get that sorted. I've sent all the emails out. We're still a guest short. They were on Twitter. I do know that. So we'll see if he's coming in. I don't know if he actually likes the story, so we'll see what happens. But let's bring on our guests that we do have waiting. Sorry for the delay. As some of you might know, before a stream I listened to a bit of music, but I kind of went down a bit of a rabbit hole. Started listening to some early 90s music and stuff. Been doing that for a couple of hours now. Like listening to a bit of music instead of watching TV, you know. It's one of those things. But anyway, let's bring on our guests. Because we got an episode to watch, don't we? So we got royalty as usual on the channel. It's the one and only Queen Charlotte.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. We've got
hello,
and he's here and he's good. And we got PD Rich.
Hey, how you all doing?
Great. And fashionably late as usual is you know who it is. You know who it is. So we'll give him a few minutes there. He was on Twitter a few minutes ago, so I don't know what's going on. Maybe he's getting Lee getting his iPad ready or something. Probably hasn't even got it set up yet. So we'll give him a few more. We'll give him a few more minutes, or I'll be sending out a search party. Hold on, I'll just see if he's coming on. Someone sent me a message.
And Chris Persia said he's ready to go whenever we are. Yay. So we now know Chris can watch, which is good.
I have to say something though, Noel. I do like that intro, that pre-intro you're using now.
Yeah.
The Gundam esque one. God, so much better. That horrible twangy one that everyone uses. Twing, twang, twang. Oh, my head.
Oh, I know which one you mean.
Blows everyone's eardrums out. It's like the Dolby
Lee wrote 7 minutes ago, join us for Aliens versus Submarines. So where is he? Hold on. I better, just in case the email didn't go through, I better send it again just in case it's my bad. But
Lieutenant Wibbly.
But that was 7 minutes ago. So he's obviously either getting set up or, you know what he's like, maybe getting coffee.
He just doesn't like Ice Warriors out of the costume.
Yeah.
That's what he doesn't like.
Well, we'll see how everybody reacts to it now, because I remember at the time it did divide a couple of people, all right.
Yeah, because was this the first time we had them back in New Who?
Yep.
Yeah, it was. And it was the first time that the Ice Warrior came out of the costume.
Yeah. It came out the proverbial closet.
See, obviously, when I was watching this, I didn't have the link with. Obviously, I knew by reference an Ice Warrior was an old alien, but I didn't have the sort of connection like a lot of you guys. So I remember watching it at the time and being a bit like, "Why is everybody freaking out?"
Yeah, I think
and then
that
I
story
understood.
would have been better if it was the Sea Devils. You know, the Sea Devils attacking the submarines and that. And
Yeah,
but
that
then
would have been a good idea, but
Yeah, but
like
you
I
then you
mean, they're in
wouldn't.
the Antarctic. I don't think so. It makes more sense to have an ice warrior, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think they're purposely tying in a lot of war stuff,
Yeah,
Cold
purposely
War,
tying in
Well,
the
it's called Cold
soldier
War. Yeah.
angle
Yeah.
just before the 50th. It's
Yeah.
sort of this episode feels like a lot more like, in comparison to the other ones, this feels like a bit of setup for the 50th.
Yeah.
Because everything else was very Clara, and this is a bit more Doctor centric, I would argue, this story.
But why didn't he just use the return button on his sonic screwdriver? The big red one that he never uses.
So tomorrow's Tarzan Talks is going to be a very interesting one because Matt Stevens is in the news again.
Steven!
Now, listen. All I'm going to say is the denial is startling here, right? The ratings argument is over. It's done, right? 2 million live, right? And I will argue with anybody out there that I honestly believe that 2 million people didn't actually tune in to watch Eve of the Daleks because you watch a certain amount of time and that counts as a view. I
Yeah,
would not be surprised if it was half that actually watched Doctor Who. This ratings spin that has been going on for the last 5 years. So listen to this. I put up a tweet today. 13 million people tuned in to watch The Woman Who Fell to Earth, right? Doesn't matter whether it was the first 5 minutes or whatever. That's the figures that was given, right? Eve of the Daleks got 2 million, right? So, folks, right, this is the argument, right? TV habits have changed. So, TV habits have changed so much, people, that 11 million people have decided to wait the next decade to decide to watch Jodie Whittaker's era because, TV habits have changed and you haven't got around to it yet. It's the most lamest, stupidest argument that I've ever heard.
yeah,
At
but
the
this
end,
is
it's
what
failed.
what I don't understand, right? Why on earth give us in the Doctor Who magazine the live figures? We didn't know this until this issue, so why bring it up?
I think this is how can I word this?
Realigning themselves.
Just let's just say the truth will be revealed. It's these people have behind the magazine haven't been very good to fans the last 5, especially fans like us. So maybe there's a bit of, how do I word this? Maybe throwing Chibnall under the bus a little bit.
Well, maybe attitudes are shifting. Is
And
what
I think,
you're trying to say.
I think the attitudes are shifting. I think they are because, look, at the end of the day, their attitudes have to change because if Doctor Who magazine is going to succeed during the RTD era, it needs to stop doing what it's been doing for the last 5 years and protect them. It's about time.
Yeah,
It's
but that's
about
why.
time that they came out and showed the live figures, and maybe it is shown that they are changing. But this should have happened ages ago. This should have happened from day one.
I know, but obviously I heard a lot of people say, "Oh, the viewing figures are worse," and I was like, "We've already got the viewing figures." And then I clicked what actually's been revealed, and I was just like, "I'm sorry, that just makes it look even more pathetic and worse."
Yeah,
so
I know.
Why on earth reveal it?
Because I honestly do believe there's a shift. I think this is them kind of, they're not never gonna come out straight and admit. Sure, even Stevens, as I said, this is how this conversation started. He's in denial right now.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, he comes out during the week and says that Whittaker and Chibnall's legacies are secure, and then he comes out with this that 2 million people watching Doctor Who live is good for terrestrial TV. Well, I'm sorry, but that's that wrong. Absolutely wrong.
Where's the other 11 million viewers, Matt? Tell me.
Exactly. Where did the 11 million viewers disappear to? The very first episode that Jodie Whittaker starred in, right? Are they going to wait the next 5-10 years to watch the Jodie Whittaker era? Is that how it works now? TV habits have changed, so like they're going to wait till this era is over to go back and watch it? Well, what ridiculous. Listen, the spin is officially dead now, right? No matter what anybody out there says, they cannot spin this anymore. And as I said, I do not even believe that those 2 million live views are actually 2 million live views. Remember, you tune in for I don't know how long it is and it counts as a view, but you don't have to tune in that long. So everybody, this is what's been happening in this era. We've seen it from day one. We've seen it from day one. People were curious the first episode of each series, and then it declines. It's a joke. It's a joke. And Matt Stevens, you need to shut up, mate. I'm sorry, but the spin is not working anymore. I'm sorry. You are part of a failed era, whether you like it or not. And Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall's legacies are not secure. I don't know where you're getting that from, because they're the most hated duo in Doctor Who's bloody fucking history right now. Nobody gives a crap about them. So I don't know where you're getting this legacy is secure
you could
rubbish.
argue their legacies are secure, as the people who almost sank the show.
Well, that's their legacy, yeah. That's their legacy. If he wants to say, yeah, actually spot on. There's their legacy right there. Responsible for nearly killing this show, and responsible for doing so much damage now that behind the scenes there's going to be something radical done with the show to try bring it back, to try basically resuscitate the show. And they've went back to RTD, the man who rebooted it in 2005, right? That's how much damage they've done. It's an absolute disgrace. Matt Stevens must be having a midlife crisis or something, because I don't know how he can still spin this. And you know what the sad thing is? There'll be people out there that will retweet his article and defend him. And it's absolutely pathetic. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves. That's how bad Doctor Who has gotten. 11 million viewers, right, have decided to not watch. But yous will say TV habits have changed. Well, TV habits have not. Look, listen, TV habits have changed, but there's nothing that can justify 11 million people walking away. Nothing at all. And here's Lee. Sorry, I see a load of messages. I haven't read them, but
hello, housekeeping. Housekeeping. Hello.
Sorry about that, Lee. Sorry. But look, the spin is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, even Lee, you know, Lee, you wrote up a tweet, and I think you took it down because you are angry, right? Which is fair enough.
I didn't take it down. I didn't take anything down.
It said it was deleted. Right,
what was deleted? I don't
know. The one
probably
where you were the gaslighting, where you were talking about.
It's probably a typo or something.
Yeah, because you usually put it back up again. But anyway, Lee was talking about the gaslighting, and he was sick of it, and that's exactly what it is. And it continues to even happen, even though they're leaving. They've got 2 episodes to go. They're still spinning. Listen, if you're still that desperate that you have to come out and do an interview after interview and tell people, or you've done a whole interview and they're giving snippets each bleeding article instead of putting the whole interview out there.
Being smug is one thing, right? Even though it's totally unwarranted. Being smug is one thing.
Arrogance.
But then turning around and then
arrogance.
And then turning around and then saying that the critics of this era, that's us, by the way.
Yeah.
What's he say? Fickle. He called us fickle.
Yeah.
What?
I'm sorry. So we're fickle. So sorry, Matt. We're fickle because we want their show to be written the right way, to be acted the right way, to have engaging stories, and to be good. So we're fickle because of that. See, this is the arrogance of this production team, and they have been arrogant from day one. Well, I tell you, listen.
He didn't just say fickle as well. I don't know if you caught the other bit of that quote. He basically was like, "Oh, when fans look back, they're going to adore Jodie's era."
Oh yeah, go fuck yourself, right? This is bullshit. The only people who are going to enjoy this are the ones who currently fucking do, and maybe only for
Yeah, but
like
hang
5
on.
minutes because it's popular amongst their circle. They're not going to watch this shit again.
Lee, but that illusion is broken as well. That illusion is broken as well because I'll tell you why. Those 2 million live ratings that they put up for Eve of the Daleks, right? I honestly do believe that not 2 million people tuned in. They only tuned in for a couple of minutes. So if you look at it in reality, how many of those Whittaker fans are actually watching? There's not many watching. That's the thing.
A lot of these people who are fans of this, I'm not saying all of them, I'm saying that there's a large portion of them, like especially on Twitter, who, as we know, spend their time fixing polls and voting things.
And
so we know what they're capable of doing when it comes to voting and polls. I wouldn't put it past a lot of these people to put that fucking thing on repeat on iPlayer in the background or whatever, and keep playing it over and over and over again
to boost the numbers.
I wouldn't put it past them. These people are not fans; they're activists, right? They're activists who come into this fandom and squatted on it so they can virtue signal all day long about all these things that they really don't give a shit about, quite frankly.
Okay. I'm sorry that I couldn't connect with this era. I'm sorry I couldn't get on board with a female doctor.
You tried.
But that's not my fault. That's not my fault. If there had been a showrunner with half a brain, maybe this could have worked. Maybe. I'm not saying it would have. Maybe it could have worked. But we've seen over the last few years what's actually happened. Right, and this is disgraceful. I'm telling you, 2 million people did not tune in to watch that latest episode. I know for a fact it was that boring. It was absolute rubbish. It was absolute rubbish. Right, there was nothing good about it. They tune in. I'm telling you, the first 5 minutes of that, right? Trust me, people would have tuned out. We watched it because we were doing a watch along. But that was bored. The first 5 minutes of that are some of the most boring stuff I've seen, right? It's just your man and your woman talking, right? 5 minutes of that rubbish, right? That was it. And they would have tuned in. None of them are watching.
But here's the funny thing, right? I'm sure in the same interview, like I said, I'm like you. I've seen all the little bits that they've done multiple articles about. I swear also, which is I'm like, oh, we also predicted this. I think he said in the same interview that Yaz and the Doctor, there might be some heartbreak. So what did we all predict? That was going to be the ending. That Yaz was going to die, or the Doctor was going to regenerate, and Yaz was going to not want to travel. Like we all said, this is not going to end well. And basically, I think in the same interview, he's basically hinting that they're not going to have a happy ending.
By the way, Raymond Williams has actually put it in the chat. So Tom Salisbury, so he's the one that wrote this article and he's being paid for it. And he's the one that put the live views up.
Yeah.
Right? I'm telling you, listen to this. I'm telling you, I told you this on this channel that the media see behind the scenes. Everybody, look at they've just supported this because we were against it, right? And they knew there'd be a backlash, right? But secretly behind the scenes, most of these journalists don't even like the Whittaker era. They don't, right? But they get paid to write articles and they will follow the machine. But now
they just want to own us. That's all this is about.
But since RTD has been announced, right? You look at the media shift straight away, right? Then we start having articles about how bad the Whittaker era actually was and how Chris Chibnall failed and certain aspects and all of this.
After years of gaslighting us,
Exactly, right? So they changed their tune straight away. I'm telling you, man, these people, right? And Tom, in fairness to him, right, has been
changing their tune to remain relevant.
He has been pretty neutral, I have to be honest, and he has, on some occasions, he's come out and, he has done the ratings. He's never defended them as such, but he won't come out and criticize. But to put those live figures in that magazine, is quite telling. I'm telling you, the shift, it's happened, and as I said, these fans of this era, you are going to be in for a bit of a shock because Doctor Who is changing, but it's changing for the better, and you are either on board or you can, don't let the door hitches on the way out because Doctor Who's going to be for everybody, and I mean for everybody, not just a select minority that have caused disruption, heartache, and pain for a lot of people. So it's about time that this show actually did something good, and hopefully it has a positive impact on the fandom because this fandom has gone through hell the last 5 years, and it should now hopefully recover. Or maybe I'm living in cuckoo land. Maybe it never will recover. But
time, mate.
let's hope there can be some sort of peace in the fandom anyway, and people can have their opinions again. We'll see what happens anyway. But let's get into this because we're going to watch Cold War. I've got it set up. I've already checked the special features. There's nothing for this except behind the scenes crap. And, I think we've all seen the behind the scenes stuff already. So if everybody in the chat is ready, you know what to do. You press that number 1 button. Let me know. We got 1-1. We'll wait for a few more.
Well, there's a delay usually.
So, yeah, but look, the spin is officially dead, folks.
I've just been going through it. Someone bringing up the AI from the 80s, and it's just like you do realize that was a totally different system.
Yeah, listen.
And then I start talking about chart positions and share of the audience. It's like, no, all that matters is the on the night ratings. Period. That's all they give a shit about.
That's what they don't get. That's what they don't get. Someone actually followed me and started posting all this fucking chart position shit, screenshots, right?
What they're interested in.
And I actually responded back. I says, yeah. I says, and Revolution of the Daleks was also there as well, and it started off in 2nd position. And I says, look how far it's dropped. I says it'll be the same with Eve of the Daleks. I said it's a new DVD release. So. And I
wasn't talking about DVD release. I talked about like the audience share of the.
No. You were talking about the audience share. I'm talking.
But yeah. I mean, they released DVD, right? They released a DVD at the end of January, beginning of February, at the time where start of February, really, isn't it? Where people are going to be buying it, and that's when the chart is out. And it's a quiet period. It's a quiet. I reckon you could probably flog a DVD from the 1980s and get it to chart in February. I mean, it's
probably
slow. It's not like the middle of summer, is it?
No, it's not sold millions of copies. It's probably sold a couple of thousand,
and it's all the pre-orders copies as well. Don't forget.
Yeah,
and then once the pre-orders are a lot of them aren't fulfilled, so then it collapses down the charts.
That's it, and you'll see because a lot of people do have it on pre-order, and then when they've watched it on TV, and then they'll decide that they don't want it, and then they'll cancel that order, and then you'll see that baby drop right down. Listen, I don't care. You spend all you want, chart position, the audience share, whatever the crap you come out with, right? What matters is, as we've always said from day one, is the overnights. That's what matters. Who's watching live, right? And catch up can be important as well. But as I said, live ratings are everything. This is why they have the biggest shows on prime time. That's what Doctor Who used to be on a Saturday night, right? And it'd win the war over certain shows. Wouldn't always win, right? But it was always up there in the top 3. And you guys think the top 25 or top 10 one week is brilliant. No, it's not. It's pathetic. Always has been. Just because Doctor Who fans out there, some have lowered their standards because they listen to these idiots out there and they listen to all the media, right? The rest of us aren't going to lower our standards. As I said, we expect a certain standard, and Doctor Who hasn't been that under this showrunner, and that's the end of the story there. So let's get this watch-along going. I've seen all the ones, so Darla, whenever you're ready, actually.
Yeah, so I've got mine up. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Ping pong.
Go.
And we start off in a big ice field. North Pole, 1983, folks.
Yeah.
1 year after I was born.
And actually, I have to say the old special effects there are not too bad now. No, for
There's a lot of model shots on this one
Doctor
as well.
Who.
I really like the camera work in this episode.
Yeah.
Like, you feel
Yeah, it's quite good.
claustrophobic. You feel like you're in the submarine.
Ice, baby. Oh, there's Liam Cunningham. Also, Game of Thrones fame for any of you people out there,
Yeah.
you know.
It looks a wee bit like Captain Smith.
Tune.
I love it.
What's this actor been in?
It's a real who's who from Game of Thrones, this one, isn't it?
Star Trek 5 and 6.
Yeah, because I know him. Oh, I know that face.
David Warner's been in everything, mate.
Yeah.
You got the captain here, you got the Bradley, and you got this guy here.
Don't let it end this way, Kirk. Oh, I know him as well, yeah.
I have to say the acting so far is good in this.
Top notch.
Oh no, the acting is top notch.
Yeah.
The acting is top notch. I actually like this story.
What's a special feature? They used a few miniature shots in this one as well of a submarine. They built one.
Do you know what it reminds me of? The Thing. Do you know when the thing is in the big ice thing and it jumps out?
Well, that's what it is it's basically The Thing meets Alien meets it's Under Siege, you know.
It does make you think, though.
That's
like,
right,
obviously, this is like real world sort of knocking, but why on earth would you think that's a mammoth?
And why on earth would you use a blowtorch to fucking melt the ice as well, Charlotte? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, why would you do that?
I know, but it's like a mammoth. Like, they're massive, and an ice warrior is nowhere near the size of a mammoth.
I thought it was a baby or something. I love this intro.
I like the clouds. I think that's a nice effect.
Yeah, and I like the way they've included Matt's face properly now, though.
Yeah.
Actually, I have to say, this team has actually grown on me. I know you used to hate this when we started this. What's going on?
Yeah.
Every week. Oh, yous are screwed. Well, that's what you get. You know, you deserve that shit.
Yeah, some of the shots are model shots, by the way, not CG.
Oh, this is Douglas directing. No wonder I like the direction then.
Yeah.
He does some really good Line of Duty stuff.
Yeah. Oops.
Oh, Viva Las Vegas. He just goes straight into the fucking control room of a nuclear submarine.
And he's like, oh, this is brilliant. And Clara's like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
This is a very good start. It's real action packed, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it gets you straight into it. There's no messing around.
That's like a model shot.
It is.
Ah, I'll explain it then.
Oh, and somebody just made me walk. Thank you, chat. Now I know why I recognise the guy who betrays them. He was Philip in The Crown.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot younger. I remember thinking, God, I know that face as well.
And he was Dickon in. Was it Dickon? Was he Dickon? No, not Dickon. The other guy.
This is not going to be working for me tonight.
No, he
Must
was.
be the weather.
What was he? He was in Game of Thrones, but he was. Oh, what was he in Game of Thrones? Not Dickon. He was the one who's meant to marry the what's his face's daughter.
Yeah.
That really is not helpful.
I'm really bad with remembering names.
They just took a Barbie out of
Bradley's character's daughter.
Oh yeah, he was the. Yeah, I know.
They just took a Barbie out of these
I've blotted most of Game of Thrones out of my memory, frankly.
I tuned out to season 7.
Oh, well, hopefully we'll get Super Doctor back.
Use a red button on your Sonic.
It's very well directed, this episode.
Yeah, it's Douglas McKinnon. He's very good. But I probably butchered the surname. Sorry, Daniel, because he's Scottish, I think.
Hey, McKinnon. Hey.
He's somebody I would like to see come back, actually. I would quite like him to do some directing for Russell. I like that. Like it's a bit like winking at the audience, but he's like, "Yeah, I'm not going to pretend. I'm just going to tell you I'm this." It sort of adds to the rushness of this whole episode, which works.
Yeah.
Oh, he's Good Omens as well, Douglas. So you've probably seen his work if you watched Good Omens.
His face.
He's behind you.
His face is priceless.
Yeah.
Especially now, where you just have he has the utter face of, "Oh, how screwed are we?"
Yeah, because he realizes
it's not a manner.
It's not bad.
Because he's almost got a bit of a look of wonder here. You can see it, but he's scared.
It's got a bit Patrick Troughton as well in his voice. A little tiny bit Patrick Troughton.
The more we've watched Matt, the more I think near the end he was being more Troughton-like.
Yeah.
Obviously, from the beginning you could see Troughton in him, but I think by this point in the series, he was really being very Troughton-esque.
Yeah. Tell now.
Nobody here wants to hurt you. Put the gun down. Oh wow, I pronounced Douglas the Scottish surname correctly. Well, I'm impressed, Daniel, with myself.
No. Uh-oh. We're in trouble.
Okay, so what do you guys think of the redesign of the armor? I think they did a good job. Like you can really tell it's nice warrior, but it's
not
updated.
as hissy though.
No, the voice is nowhere near as hissy. I will agree there.
Yeah.
I think it would have been I mean, I think it's quite masculine and all the rest of it. Warrior,
it's quite growly.
But the thing about the Ice Warriors was they were very breathy and hissy, because they're reptilian and kind of cold. You kind of like that's what you want, really.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because he's been asleep for such a long time. He's got like a bit of a raspy voice.
Yeah. We haven't seen him since Pertwee's era, have we? Peladon.
Yeah, because I honestly think they did better with the male armor than the female when they got round to doing a female one.
Yeah.
I remember really not liking that design.
No.
The actress was very good.
Oh, she was good, yeah.
She was brilliant.
But it felt too humanoid. The female.
Yeah, and then they made her all predator with the hair. And
and she had a very feminine figure, and I was just like,
yeah, and then the eyes were all sort of slanted as well, which is like, why?
They also used a lieutenant's helmet as the female helmet now, when it was actually a lieutenant's helmet.
It's like, yeah, of course they had to make them have a queen, It's like, I mean, come on. Yeah. They're reptilians. They're not supposed to have a queen.
Yeah. They're not ants or bees.
Especially as, let's be fair, they're a very militaristic race in a way. And I remember thinking at the time, I was like, you guys come across very military. You wouldn't have a female leader. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and it's Mars. They're from Mars. Mars is the planet of masculinity and war. It's
Yeah, I was thinking, no, it'd be if we weren't in current day, this would have been a male as the leader.
Yeah. True.
Because it was really, you could see it so clearly at that point in the show, and I was just like, because as well, it was another British Empire bad episode. I was fed up to the back teeth of those at that point.
And the diverse colonial army.
Yeah.
Really?
And I was like, no.
I mean, how ridiculous was that? I mean, really? I mean, I had to misread history utterly.
But I think back to this episode, I like how they do the code stuff. Like it's quite subtle, and keeps it to the pure point of they're very honor bound in some ways, but if you cross them, they're gonna just absolutely destroy you. Oh, I love this bit coming up. And you wouldn't smell it on you, Doctor. That's what I mean. This is a lot of setup.
Yeah. He knows he's been to war.
He's like, no.
I love his face when he starts smiling first. He didn't realise what she's saying, and then when he does, he's like, nope. But of course, we know what happens with Matt's doctor. He says no, but then it ends up.
You can never say well. He is with his companions.
It's a bit like the Daleks in.
Oh yeah. It's like Moffat, I even like Clara in this episode. What on earth did you do to her later on?
Yeah, she's actually good in this
You
episode.
made her the abusive carer. That's what you did.
Like here, you can see the nerves,
Yeah.
and I like that. Here, I think it's the better idea where she says like after this scene, "Oh, did I do well?" And the doctor says to her, "It's not a test," but it is to her, and you can see she's trying to prove herself.
Yeah.
Like that's the better version than what we ended up getting.
Exactly.
Which was I'm more better and I'm just gonna become you.
Yeah.
Alright, look here, she's really unsure.
Yeah, that's not allowed anymore.
The doctor in there and Clara telling them what to do.
See, that's a gorgeous shot. That's a
Yeah.
lovely shot of Matt close up then.
Yeah, I love that expression.
Has anybody got a timestamp?
Just coming up to 17 minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
Now Lee's dreaded moments come.
I mean, it's such a terrible idea that the Ice Warriors can escape their suits and they're lit.
I quite liked it, but you can't tell why people hate it though.
Yeah, I'm
No.
like, I'm a PD. It comes across to me as they wanted to not just copy what Classic Hugh had done.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if
It's
you
like do
think
something new, yeah.
And
Yeah,
like,
and
it's gone into face hugger mode now.
yeah, and it's sort of it's that idea of desperation.
Yeah. So I said I just doing something new with the character. That's why I kind of like it. I can't understand why people hate it though.
I didn't like the Empress of Mars either. I thought it was
No,
pretty
a
naff.
bit poor.
Oh yeah, I would watch. This is way better.
That
This episode.
was
This is way better though.
dreadful.
Yeah.
That's like the word. It's like taking one of the great tropes of the Alien franchise and making it really, really bad.
How common everyone takes tropes from everything that are in a thing or aliens nowadays.
I know, but like, yeah, look, you can't see it, but it's there somewhere. And then look, this thing just flashes by, but like twice as slow as normal. You know, like, I mean, really.
I know.
No, I will agree. When you see the hands in a bit, they do not look. They've not aged well.
Yeah.
I think if they would have like found another way for the warrior to take people out and not have the hands just like grab the face, I do agree there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, let's just shout that information out there, Doctor. You know, like, come on.
Yeah, tell him. Yeah, you never say that line, Doctor.
I know, because every time he does, something fucking happens.
Yeah.
Very well put together, though.
And it's even making the noise of the predator as well. Like,
Yeah, I like that. I think the tension in this is very good, actually.
I mean, the tension's all right.
I mean, do you actually do? If I remember, do you actually see him? I know he's out of his suit, but do you actually see him?
You see a bit of his face. You do see a bit of the face.
Right.
Yeah.
The hands do look very kind of rubbery later.
Yeah, no, I do think they've not aged well.
No.
Like I said, if they would have found, like, maybe, I know they don't have tails, but just something to grab people.
And now it's like something out of War of the Worlds.
Yeah. It's the lighting. They're not good at the lighting.
Well, and also they're a bit too, like, spindly.
Yeah.
Aren't they?
Like the aliens in
fingers look
Independence
too
Day,
long.
Yeah, like they almost looks like a witch sort of thing,
Yeah,
doesn't it? Like witch's hands.
I mean, you think it, like, to fit its claws into those claw thing, like the gloves, like.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the holes in the gloves as well.
You cut your nails, wouldn't you?
You can see the holes in the latex. I mean, it's when it goes up close.
Yeah. It's probably got no one's hands in it. It's probably got got animatronics, like, you know. It doesn't move like someone's hands are in it. It's like someone's pulling a controller.
I mean, the quality has certainly went down since the RTD era.
Yeah.
The animatronics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like this bit though, where like they're both recognizing that they're sort of men and creature of fight and war, and they can't just live in a sort of in between state.
Needs to be darker scene, in general.
Yeah, I agree, PD. Maybe they would have made it a bit
light.
darker. Like
And it was more orange lit. It looked a bit better.
And like I was thinking, maybe he. I'm thinking for an alternative. Like I said, the hands don't work. Maybe if they would have done it, that he would have had a bit of the suit, and like wires or bits of the suit would have come down and grabbed people.
Yeah.
Not one line. Okay, forget that.
Oh, but look, history's in flux. Flux, people. Now, whenever I hear that word, I think of something else.
My God, that doll, the scene with the doll. I mean that's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's Matt's brilliant, like, physical comedy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shell suit.
I mean, that doll could have been Rose's. Kept in his pockets.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that takes it from a bit funny to creepy.
Yeah.
If he's kept it.
Or it could be Amy's.
Yeah, probably Amy's.
I mean, the atmosphere, right? If you're a little kid and watching this,
oh yeah,
you are getting scared, right?
Yeah.
Name me an episode in the current era that's had the same feel and has scared the literal shit out of kids.
Gatis is good with the horror thing, you
Yeah,
know.
that's his wheelhouse.
Mm.
It's now the singing.
Let's remind everyone it's the 1980s. Like, needlessly.
He actually likes the West.
It's the Cold War. Look, it's the 80s. Look, here's some pop culture references.
Everyone needs to be wearing bright neon colours.
I know, but Warner just plays with such charm. This stuff.
Yeah.
I think if they got any other actor doing this, it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another alien.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's good though. You know, if you're a kid watching this, like
Yeah, but, you know,
you're scared shitless. Like
submarines are not big places. You know,
I
where
know
the fuck
they're
can you hide in a
not.
submarine?
Look,
Really?
I even know they're not, and I know that makes no sense. Trust me, I agree with you, right? But it's good for the kids. I actually liked it as well. I thought it was very well done. Like I get you don't like the Ice Warrior outfit shell or outfit suit. I'm not a big fan
and in
of.
classic Who, you wouldn't have just seen the arms sailing up there. You would have seen the whole dead body, right? That would have been the body
but
horror.
Come on, Lee. They were never going to get away with showing a dead body.
Yeah, exactly.
They did in the classic era.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
not now. The kids are pampered now. You know
when we weren't complete pussies.
Well, as Johnny would say, it's a pussy generation, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also
Amen to that.
You've seen the Seeds of Doom.
I know. Here's the thing, though, Lee. It's not just that they would have had to show the body. The dialogue literally said he was torn apart and like dissected. Like that would not. No.
Watershed, mate. Yeah, that'd be Watershed.
That would have made it 9 o'clock. Yes.
Yeah. Be one of those special episodes on Channel 4.
We don't necessarily need to have them torn apart, but you know, like a bit of body horror goes a long way. Scare the buggers.
He's a good actor.
He's a brilliant actor.
Yeah.
Don't end this way, Kirk.
Yeah, I like that movie actually. Gets a lot of stick, but I actually like that. I actually like that movie. Undiscovered Country. Great movie, actually. Christopher Plummer is in it as well.
I know, it's a great Star Trek film.
It's a deadly movie.
Why don't they give it stick, though? I mean, I thought 5 would get more stick than 6.
Yeah, I agree. But look, the first few movies, well, I mean, Star Trek 2, 3, and 4 are probably the best out of all of them.
It's the thingy trilogy, isn't it? It's the Spock trilogy, or the Genesis trilogy, they call it.
Yeah, it's the Harvey Bennett trilogy, I think, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that jumped on board. Now, I do like the original movie, though. I know it gets a bit stick, but I actually like it.
Yeah.
It's remastered and all now, apparently. So,
yeah. Oh, motion picture remastered, yeah. Brand new 4K remaster.
I knew I heard fireworks the first time, and I wasn't sure. Poor Ted.
Oh, yeah, we won't be good tonight if this fireworks.
No.
I don't even know why they're starting up. What are they doing fireworks now for bleeding Valentine's Day as well? Now is that the new thing?
I don't think so.
Leave it fucking out, will you?
We don't call it fireworks night. We call it fireworks season.
Yeah, I love this bit.
Yeah, shooting bullets in a pressurized cabin underwater is not a good idea.
Yeah.
So you see his face there.
Briefly, yeah.
Okay, I'll admit it looks a bit ropey there, but
CG.
but still, I can see. I get Lee's point of view. I'm actually on Lee's side on this, but I can understand why PD likes it. He was trying something different, and I think it was good that he did try. Like, that's what I mean. If you're gonna bring them back, or you're gonna bring someone back, you've got to add on to them. Not the way fucking Chibnall did, though. But yeah, I'll give him credit for trying.
Looks like a bad guy from a video game, some weird video game.
Yeah.
Or something from Star Trek.
It looks like the singing frog.
Yeah. Crazy frog.
Do you know what would have worked better with that scene, actually? If it was actually someone in a mask, did their face up and shot that scene.
Because it's CG.
Yeah, give it a more realistic look.
Everything else is practical apart from his face, yeah.
Because, like I said, the suit is gorgeous. I really think they did such a good job with the suit.
Yeah. But for me, I'm afraid I don't like it. It really kind of upsets the balance of the Ice Warriors because of what's already been established.
Yeah.
You let off that amount of bullets in a fucking submarine at that depth. No.
Now come on, are you going to start nitpicking? You're as bad as Cheryl when it comes to Cobra.
If it's the physics that takes me out of it, it's the physics that takes me out of it. What can I say?
We're watching Doctor Who, not Star Trek.
It's important for the suspension aspect.
Yeah, but this was a trade with Moffat. He's not as bad as Chibnall doing it, but this was always a trade with Moffat anyway.
But if I have to hold up to a certain standard, right? I have to hold it for everybody.
Yeah, I know. I get what you're saying. Nobody is arguing with you there, no.
Obviously, mine decides, I'm going to stop and think for a bit, you son of a bitch.
That's obviously the toy sonic screwdriver Matt's got now.
Oh yeah, the one because he kept breaking the other one.
Red mode.
Where are we up to?
Timestamp just gone past 35 minutes.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Just gone past 35 minutes.
Oh, okay.
We never got one with red mode.
Yeah, they are a bit Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think the eyes are a bit unconvincing as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because it's CGI, unfortunately, but
Yeah.
It just shouldn't, like, you know, the whole thing is the mystery of what's under there. You take that away, you've kind of blown that, you know. It's much better not knowing.
Yeah.
Don't need to see what they look like under the armor. That's the whole point of them.
Well, that's the problem when you hear a lot. The whoever is running the show likes to kind of destroy things like Chris Chibnall has done. The Doctor's origins.
Ship doesn't look bad though. And that's CG.
I think they're breaking through the ice. It looks quite good there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's when. But I was about to say it's when they don't have to do detail, but the ship's detailed and that looks good. So I think it's just some luck of the draw almost with some shots.
actually, that is impressive breaking through the ice.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
So they get a message from the ship. Sorry, he's a bit crotchety. We'll just deactivate him. He's just woken up. Go set the
Yeah.
call. No
He's like,
answer.
sorry, you didn't know not to mention the daughter thing. That gets him
Yeah.
a bit grumpy.
Yeah, gets a bit crotchety about that.
Mhm. Ah.
Yay. Cool version of I'm a Doctor.
And he's like, what do I do with this?
The submarine and the sets of the submarine are impressive. I have to say that.
Yeah.
I always love when they show people up on top of a submarine.
The conning tower, yeah.
Holy shit. It's a nice little shot there.
Yeah.
Push the button.
She's like, Doctor, what have you done? Oh, I've just read Sudoku's comment. Just imagine how Capaldi would react to that sneak attack hug. He'd be like, right, that's it, I'm putting a cat bell on. That would be something Capaldi's
Yeah.
Doctor would do.
Putting a cat bell on her, yeah.
I love his face there when they laughing at him and they go. Yeah, why is the ship still hovering though? Like, you could have left about 15 minutes ago. Get out of here.
Yeah, but it's so they can like salute each other almost.
Next time.
Oh, I never spoke
Oh, this is actually a good one.
Yeah, hide.
This is actually not a bad one either.
Is it the couple, the Conjuring couple, like the
kind of,
yeah.
And the crystal from Metabolus 3, he gets it wrong.
This is actually not a bad episode.
I was going to say, those are quite two well-known actors, aren't they, as well?
There is this season, yeah.
Right, let's get straight into the L rating there. So,
Moffat didn't do that kind of what is that kind of what you might call it before the end of the last episode. We got this actor, we got that actor, we got this actor, we got that.
Oh yeah, no, that's the chips. He loves to do that.
Yeah, that's a chibi. That's a chibi trait. That's look at me. I'm desperate. Anyway, let's get into the old ratings. So we'll start with Queen Charlotte.
Yeah, no, I sort of said this last week. My memory of when I first watched this was it was meh, and I actually quite enjoyed it watching it again. Because, like you're saying, the atmosphere is really good.
Yeah.
The sort of the main supporting cast, they got really good actors for them, so you instantly sort of like their characters, and like the professor character with David Warner, he just plays him with so much charm. And he's a bit kooky, and he's a bit like that sort of trope of the weirdo professor, but he plays it very well. The captain is sort of the stoic captain, but he's played well. Like I said, Clara, she's actually likable. She's sort of still finding her feet. She's sort of not quite sure of herself. Like I said, the whole thing about her thinking it, sort of almost treating it like a test. I like that idea because a lot of the modern companions up to this point, after a couple of episodes, that sort of nervousness had gone. And I like the fact that with Clara, he's writing her that it's not gone yet. Makes her a bit different, makes her stand out. And I like the whole idea of the Doctor being compared to the Ice Warrior and the sort of theme of them both being soldiers. And like I said, I think it's, as a first introduction, like a lot of people my age would have been watching this, I think it's just enough like backstory about the Ice Warrior that you're not overloaded with it, but you sort of get the gist of their race a bit and what they're about. But I don't hate the idea of it being out the suit as much, because I do think, at least I agree with PD, it's something different. But I just think maybe they would have done slightly different way around it when it comes to actually showing bits of the warrior. Then it probably would have gone across a bit better. Yeah, and there is just some natural. It is a bit quick, the solution, but that's a Moffat trope. I do think that's a bit of a Moffat trope, even though Gatiss wrote this, but they both have that trope.
Mm-hmm. Chibnall too.
Yeah. So, I'll give this a 7.5.
Fantastic. Lee?
I have my gripes.
We never would have guessed.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could tell, the sub is a huge set. Listen, I can understand for logistics and filming purposes and drama, etc., but I mean, the subs are very small spaces, very little room to hide. The introduction of the story is absolutely brilliant. Great direction there. Great lighting, great set design, great performances from the cast. Wonderful selection of actors there. So I can't fault that. But look, the Ice Warrior looks great until the CGI head and the design. It's like, no, Ice Warriors don't need to have a face reveal, right? They really don't. So that really kind of spoiled it for me. And there's a fine line between doing a pastiche and then sort of doing what Hinchcliffe did, like taking ideas like Frankenstein, taking ideas like Sherlock Holmes, and taking all those sort of tropes and then doing something else with it. This was like a bit of a more than an homage. This is like full on trope rip-off, from Alien to Predator to Base Under Siege to The Thing, and it's just so on the nose and very derivative. I was going to say lots of running up and down corridors. No. And yeah, the rubbery sort of thing and the CGI sort of thing it was unnecessary. You didn't need to do that. I mean, if you were going to do the thing coming out of the suit, I don't think it should have been like this wee little creature running around scurrying about like an alien xenomorph thing, which was done quite poorly, I thought. It kind of diminishes it. I mean, you have all that sort of power from it to start with, but then you sort of see it's this little creature running around. It just kind of makes it look a bit silly, which is a shame. And the ship doesn't look like it belongs to an ice warrior for some reason. It just doesn't look right. Too pretty. The story, it just seemed like quite a bit filler to me. I mean, I like certain aspects of Gatiss' stuff, but I think he does sort of tend to be a bit safe. And, because I know from his work on League of Gentlemen, he does tend to be very, again, on the nose with his sort of cultural reference points.
Yeah, sometimes Gatiss can be a bit predictable, I find.
Yeah, and again, the resolution. This was Gatiss, really, not so much Moffat, isn't it? Because it's his story, but it's the whole. Let's just put our faith in this ice warrior that he's not going to turn out to be a dick. Is a bit of a shit kind of resolution, frankly. I mean, what's the point of the story if everything just relies on, is the ice warrior going to turn out to be a bit of a shit or not? It's just a bit of a cop-out. It's just like, look, here's an ice warrior. I don't know what to do with it, but look, it's on a submarine and they're stuck underwater and some stuff happens. Okay. So it's a bit of a non-story, really. I mean, okay, Cold War. Well, what can we do? Cold War. Cold War, ice warriors. Hey! Yeah.
I think you didn't like it.
So what would you?
And then shooting bullets in the submarine. Really? Come on! Just stop it.
What a way to bring the stream down. Hey, folks. What would you give it out of 10?
I should come on and lie, shouldn't I? Look,
no, I'm only messing. What would you give it out of 10, pal?
Look, it was daft. It was silly, but the performances were the things that saw it through. I mean, there's pretty much nothing else that did. So,
are you sure now?
Yeah, let's drop in the 80s references as well. Don't forget that. Look, it was all right. It's still fucking miles better than what we're getting. So, I will give it 6.5.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to give it less the way you were talking. Anyway,
purely performances, purely on the actors.
Nah, I'm only messing. You're right. The performances were great. PD, go ahead.
I quite enjoyed it. It wasn't the greatest episode, but it was a very good episode, I find. And I thought the sets, the costumes were all right, apart from the rubbery hands. I think that's the only bit that I didn't like about it. But I think there are a lot of actors in it. David Warner, lots of other actors, good actors from from other TV shows. And I just thought it was a really good episode, generally well put together. As I said, there was a few clunks in it. I did like the practical use of model effects as well. That was really good.
That was good.
One of my favourite bits of this episode. So, I give it an 8.
Fantastic. Listen, I like the story myself. But
what was the story? Tell me.
What was the story?
Tell me the story.
Right. Well, the story was basically that an ice warrior was found at the bottom of the ocean because they were drilling for oil. They brought it on board thinking it was a mammoth, but it turned out to be an ice warrior. The Doctor and Clara were going to Vegas, but somehow managed to land on a nuclear submarine.
Cut to the end.
So then what happens then is the ice warrior breaks free because some little gobshite decides to use a blowtorch to melt the ice, and the ice warrior then finds out that he's actually been asleep for 5,000 years and that he's lost his daughter, his family, and maybe his race. So yeah, there was a story there. Maybe you just didn't see it because you were.
And then what happened?
They had to resolve the fact that the sub had been basically forced down lower than it wanted to, and they needed a way back up. So that
and
was
the only way that happened, and don't forget, the Ice Warrior wanted to use the nukes to start to make a new cold planet for. I mean, one nuke. Like for a bunch of nukes and one submarine.
Well, no, he set off one nuke and then that would set off the rest of them. But that would set off one nuke, right? Yeah, you set off one nuke, and then like you attack someone. Right?
Fair enough. So you wanted to create another, and then what happened was they turned up. He felt like he was treated like shit, and then he thought, you know what, I'm going to give those. I won't have a new planet. I'll let them have that.
Well, because he had given up hope, but then he realized that his people were there, so he showed mercy. Like, it does make sense. It's like it's not your cup of tea.
Yeah, but it doesn't really involve much.
Well, look, I'm not saying it's the greatest. Look, I'm not saying it's the greatest in-depth story, but you asked me was there a story there, and I told you there is a story.
He felt merciful that day, you know.
Well, maybe, yeah.
Even though he killed a bunch of people.
It's a Moffat trait, but look, as I said, I liked it at the time. Okay. I still like it now, so I'll give it an 8 out of 10. So that's what I'll give it. Do you want to add anything else, Lee, before I go on to Real Super Doctor? No, you good?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Real Super Doctor, go ahead.
I thought the visuals were good in this story. I thought the sets and the acting was really good in this story. I quite enjoyed that side of it. But the Ice Warrior, I really didn't like. I really didn't like the fact that the Ice Warriors can come out their suit and be like slithery and like that, and go like lightning from one direction to another. I thought that the whole story was probably a good idea, but on production it just doesn't kind of work. It just about just works, but it just doesn't, because you think about it this way, because you have an Ice Warrior. What is an Ice Warrior doing in the been frozen? You know, it just doesn't really make sense. Why
was he frozen?
Maybe his spaceship crashed. Jesus, use a bit of imagination. Like maybe his spaceship crashed into the Antarctic.
Maybe they should write a plausible explanation and put it in the story. And
maybe we should have a prequel episode.
Well, look. In fairness, you've got a good point. This episode actually could have done with a prequel.
This happened because of some reason, and then that happened because of
I'll agree with that to a certain extent.
It's lucky that happened because then this happened.
Yeah. Well, I could have done with a little bit of explanation to why the Ice Warrior was encapsulated in the ice, but to think about it this way, I mean, it's just one Ice Warrior. It's set up like the Dalek from Dalek.
Yeah.
It just doesn't have that kind of screen presence.
Yeah, I think he was going for that though, because I even commented during the Watchalong, it kind of did have have that whole kind of scene that was identical to Dalek. So it's interesting.
So the story just doesn't really work for me. Except for the acting is good, the sets are good. They spent money on it, obviously. But as for an Ice Warrior story, it just didn't stick with me. I would give it a 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10. Okay.
See, there you go. I was much more generous.
That's it. Well, that's it.
Look. See, I'm not so nasty after all. I'm lovely and fluffy, really.
Oh, we know that. Lee, deep down, there's a heart there.
Well, we'll see how
Heart is-
everybody feels about next week's episode.
I like Hyde.
Yeah, Hyde's quite
Yeah.
good.
From what I remember, anyway.
So we'll watch it again anyway. But we will be back tomorrow for the TARDIS Talks. Come and join us because I'm going to have a laugh at Matt Stevens' expense. The guy has clearly had a nervous breakdown or
giving me a fucking nervous breakdown.
Or a midlife crisis because the denial, I've never seen so much denial.
Oh, and this is in the back of my head.
Ridiculous.
Basically, is he like the tribute? And they've said, right, you're the one from the production team that's actually going to go and talk, and the rest of us are just not going to comment. And you're the idiot who's stupid enough to do it.
Well, he did. He said he was hanging around and all, and I just couldn't understand. Well, what are you hanging around for? Just leave.
Sod off already.
And then he was like, "Oh, I was walking around the old studio, and it's just a big hangar there." And I was like, "Nobody cares." Just like
about it when you're a producer.
No. It's that code for nobody's giving me a job right now.
Yeah.
Did you see that Rabbi's video? Like he was talking about what his next job was. It was like some TV show about some girl who's got a disability? It's just like, oh my goodness.
Is that like dyspraxia?
Yeah, no, it was. No, it's like she's on the spectrum, but
we know you won't do it properly because they couldn't even handle it on Doctor.
Should be the bestest ever.
Oh, it's just like, oh, look at me, I give a shit so badly, really badly. Look, let's face it. These people are in their own fucking ivory towers, looking down their noses from their vaunted
well, he's
position.
definitely in his own fucking bubble. He needs to get a grip with reality.
It is delusional. I mean, I don't know if they actually believe this or if they're just absolutely gaslighting us for the sake of it.
I think he does believe it.
I do.
I think he does.
I'm so wonderful. We did such a wonderful
job. I think they
Oh my
really
God,
do
we're
believe.
amazing.
That's the thing. I think they
Just
actually
sniff my
really
farts,
do
it's
believe.
not like roses.
They really do believe that they have. Look, and he says that fans will look back at this retrospectively and fall in love with Whittaker Zero.
Yeah, the 5 or so people who remember it. Yeah, maybe.
Even if we didn't exist, fans that didn't like this area, even if we didn't exist.
Oh, you're just being fickle, Noel.
Right?
Yeah, so
right.
fickle.
The thing about it is that this era will still be hated. You cannot. Shut up, you. Right, Matt.
Not you. Him.
Yeah, I'm calling you.
Well, you as well, a little bit, but
yeah. Anyway, listen. Bottom line is that this whole argument now is done with this rating spin. It's done now. It's been blown out of the water. It's officially done. So screw you, Chibnall. Screw you, Matt Stevens, and bye.
And you, Hair Wenger,
Miss Whittaker, and hope yous are careers go on the up after this. I'm only joking. Yous are back down the bottom of the ladder again. Yous will have to walk your way back up again.
That'll be on BBC Radio.
Well, you know how it works. These idiots get promoted upwards, don't they?
That's but you see, there'll be a problem. There'll be fans there soaring the old steps. So as you're going up the ladder, then it'll break and you'll fall back down to the bottom again. That's what you deserve.
I don't know how these people get hired. I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know how they get hired because it's people who are just afraid of being shown up or don't want other people eclipsing them, so they hire people underneath them.
It's
so they look better. That's the only reason.
You fail, you get promoted. Failure is the new success now.
Mediocrity is king.
Your outcome, isn't it? Really.
It's the smugness that really takes
you
over the edge.
I don't know if it is, but that's the thing. I don't even think it is smugness. I think with Stevens, he actually really believes that they've created something, a masterpiece.
Yeah, but he believes it that much. It's like more than normal people. Like that's how smug.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I think it's the denial is funny. It is funny. I mean,
yeah, it's like trying to point out the emperor has no clothes on. It's just you can't with these people. They won't listen, and it's the fact that they have to externalize it. They cannot own it. They cannot own their failure. They have to project it onto everyone else for not being smart as they are. It's funny anytime an article comes out.
But it's funny now, anytime an article comes out now, either Strevens or someone else is piping up and saying something. I
Just
mean,
shut up and go away quietly.
Get over it.
Go away quietly. Keep your mouth shut. Put your 2 crappy episodes out. Get out of our fucking way. We don't want to know. Go and fucking, I don't know, write your little shitty articles in the Doctor Who magazine or whatever, where no one buys it anymore because it doesn't listen to us and never bothered and gaslight us as well and blah, blah, blah. Right. Do your thing. Not interested. Shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out of my sight. Don't want to hear from you. Don't want to see you. Let's move forward. You're done. Not interested.
Yeah, but that's the problem. They've still got 2 episodes to air, so they technically have got space to now talk until those 2 episodes.
That's what I mean, and this is why I don't like the fact we have to wait. I just want this to be over so we don't ever hear of him again. Or Whittaker. Right? That's
Just keep reminding them, you fucking screwed up Doctor Who, you assholes. We're not interested. You fucked it. You fucked it. You fucked us. You're fucking yourselves and you fucking me. And I don't really want any more fucking. Right? Just fuck off. Yeah. Fucking leave us alone. Done. Dusted. Thank you. Goodbye. Don't let the door hit you on the way out, etc., etc. Go away.
And we've literally got the ghost of John Nathan Turner going, you thought I was bad.
It's probably a revenge of the timeless child. It's probably called Revenge of the Timeless Child.
So it will have Timeless Child in it, won't it?
Yeah, so it's probably Revenge of the Reveal of the Timeless Child.
Yeah, that sounds more like Chibnall.
Right, either Reveal of the Timeless Child or Revenge of the Timeless Child. Or Rivers the Timeless Child. We could come up with loads of fucking titles.
Not my timeless child.
So we'll see what happens. Look, I don't really care, right? 2 episodes of this, I'll watch them, but I don't really care. I'm just watching them to see how this all pans out.
We're just waiting for summer for the Orville.
Well, I'm just waiting for RTD now. I don't really give a crap. But you know what? Look, this was obvious it was going to happen. We said it. We said after when this era was going to come to an end, people were going to be coming out doing their little articles and having their little say and, you know, kicking their toys out of their pram as soon as they knew that RTD was coming back. This is what this is. This is them trying to justify.
This is their level of cope. Right, this is their cope
now,
because they know they're about to get eclipsed, and all the arguments about how wonderful this era and successful it was, and it's going to be absolutely blown out of the water. I assume, hopefully, anyway.
Well, here's the thing.
So all of their fucking arguments.
Well, listen, right.
It's cope.
I think we can all safely predict here on this panel that RTD's first 60th anniversary special, if it's done over multiple days, we don't know. We still don't know yet, but it's looking like that. But let's just say it is, right? His first episode drops, right? Okay. Can anybody in this panel say that it'll do any worse than what Eve of the Daleks do? No, it'll do much better.
It'll be like Jodie's first episode. If Jodie can get that many for her first episode, Russell will get that.
Right, so then what will the spin be then by them then? Because, you know, according to Matt Stevens, 2 million people watching now on terrestrial TV apparently is great, according to Matt Stevens. That's how low he's lowered the bar and standard in his head.
No, TV habits have changed. No.
Oh, no, yeah, that's the excuse.
No, do you know what the spin will be? Well, it's an anniversary special. Of course, it's going to be higher.
Right. Well, then, what will the spin be then when the first episode of Series 14 drops? What will they say then? Oh, it's the first episode.
That one, but that'll be the spin for the anniversary stuff.
Right.
It's a special event. It's an anniversary, guys.
I don't care. They can spin it all they fucking want. Right. At the end of the day, right, the 60th anniversary will be a success because RTD will know exactly how to write Doctor Who. That's the problem. If you want to know why this era has failed, yeah, we can question all the decisions that Chibnall made with casting and all that, but it boils down to one thing. The writing in this era was absolutely dire, and and his writing team are responsible for that. And also, in some episodes, the directors that he brought in were bad. The composer that he brought in, no disrespect to him, he's probably great on other shows, but he's not Doctor Who. He's not for Doctor Who. His music is too incidental. It's too softy, squishy, and then you have, and it's not good. I don't like it. I really don't. So look, loads of choice, but it's down to the right. At the end of the day, forget about all that other bullshit. If you look at it and analyze this with a cold eye, you will see it's just the writing. The writing has been absolutely dire. There's not one episode that he has written that's actually doesn't have any flaw. Every single episode he's written has flaws, right? Loopholes, plot holes, lack of character development, right? That's all down to him. It's down to his directors as well for not directing these actors and actresses that he had at their disposal. Because let's be honest, right? Chris Chibnall was very lucky with the amount of talent that he was able to bring in. And look what he did with them, right? He screwed them all over, every single one of them, right? I mean, it's an absolute joke. And Matt Streaves, of course, he's going to defend his boss, right? And he probably is fishing for, well, someone said he already has another job. I don't know how that man has another job. I don't know how Chris Chibnall's going to get another job. And I quite frankly can't understand if Jodie Whittaker gets another acting role.
Oh, but she will. She'll get a pity role off the BBC.
Yeah, well, give her something.
Coronation Street.
Well, let her. Nobody will tune in anyway. Not Russ anyway. I don't give a crap what she does anymore, to be quite honest with you. But still, the writing was the biggest problem, like it was under Stephen Moffat. Right? These were the problems that we had, and all we wanted was someone to come in that was actually a good writer. Right? It didn't need to change. All he needed to do was bring in a decent fucking caliber of bleeding writer. Right? And then he assembled a team of decent fucking writers, and we wouldn't have been in this situation in the first place. But BBC panicked. They were desperate, and they turned to a man that turned the show into a laughingstock. Its legacy might have a chance of surviving, but it's been tarnished. It's a joke now. The show is a joke. You do see people ripping the show left, right, and centre, taking the piss out of Doctor Who fans. That's how low this show has actually fallen in 7-8 years. It hasn't even took that long. Right, it started under Moffat. Right, but Chris Chibnall obviously bleeding sped it up. But I do honestly believe if they had brought in someone that actually understood sci-fi, we'd be in a different situation right now. Doctor Who would probably be going from strength to strength. It'd still probably be hitting 8 million viewers. That's what it should be doing in reality in this current TV climate. Yeah, I will admit TV habits have changed to a certain extent. People do like to watch on catch up, or they might wait until it all drops and then watch it then right at the end. Right, that happens, right? But 8 million is respectable in this climate. And the last episode got 2. And they're trying to tell us, and Matt Stevens trying to tell me that for terrestrial TV is actually quite good. Who are you fucking kidding? Pull the other leg. Right? Just because you lowered your standards, Chris Chibnall had lowered the standards because his writing was so bad, and the supporters of this era lowered the standards. Don't expect Doctor Who fans to lower their standard. Right?
He was subverting expectations.
RTD set the bar when he came back in 2005 with NuWho. That was the standard. That was the bar, right? That was the gold standard. If you didn't reach that, right? And Moffat didn't either. Moffat was below RTD. Moffat never surpassed RTD either. No showrunner has actually done better than RTD anyway. That's the thing. The show was, in fairness, bar Moffat's 4th season, the show has actually struggled since then. It just hasn't been as bad as it was under Chibnall, but the show has been struggling for a few years. It hasn't been the same since RTD actually handed over the reins to Moffat. Right? Moffat had a good 4th season. It was a great 4th season, actually. Right? So, like, he did hit the ground running, but his 2nd season left a lot to be desired. There was a lot plot holes and stuff, and the writing was getting a bit sloppy. It was fairy tale-y and all of that.
Yeah.
Other stuff. Right? So, look, it's been on the decline for a while. We've got to be honest here, but he's just accelerated it. You know, this show could have pulled out of this if after Moffat they had brought someone in, as I said, that understood sci-fi. That's it.
Or if
Not
they would
even.
have just, or even if they couldn't find somebody, just have it off air for a couple of years and really take the
Hiatus,
time
yeah.
and
That's it.
bring
You
it
could have
back.
done that option as well, but they wanted to keep it on TV, and I can understand because it was still even under Moffat, it was still bringing in viewers. Maybe not as many as RTD's era, but it was still bringing in the viewers. Even Moffat's worst episodes are better than Whittaker's best. That's the thing. That's the shocking thing about it. You can't spin this anymore. Yeah, that argument now has been successfully destroyed by Doctor Who magazine now, and that's telling. So yeah, I would love to be a fly on the wall on some of these YouTubers that have been spinning these ratings when they picked up the Doctor Who magazine and they looked in and they seen that page. I can imagine their reaction. There's no way you could spin this anymore. And anybody that's still spinning it, I'm sorry, I'm just going to say this. You're pathetic, you're a loser, and you're a desperate individual. It's about time now that she's come out and spoke out against Chris Chibnall and actually put the blame on the person that is responsible. And do not, for 1 second, when the RTD era comes along, then use the spin because now this is at the coming out now. I know exactly what's going to happen now. This now fits in to the narrative now that I said that will happen, right? When RTD's era is a success or the 60th is a success, right? They will change their tune. They will finally admit that that Jodie's era didn't do too well, right? So they'll contradict themselves, but then they'll add the caveat. But it was all the Not My Doctor's fault because they were sexist. They were the racists. They were the bigots. They were the ones that wouldn't get behind it and blah blah blah. They were being negative about it, right? That's who they'll blame now, because now the evidence is out. They can't deny it. I'd love to see someone try deny them figures. Actually, it's going to be quite interesting to see which YouTuber on the other side actually has the balls or the gall to try and spin this one, because I'll even watch that video myself just to get a good laugh for how desperate the attempt is, because there's no spinning this, folks. And 2 million people didn't tune in and watch Eve of the Daleks either, right? As I said, a certain amount of time people tune in, right? And it counts as a view, right? And they probably would have tuned out. A lot of people were watching the Country File because I was watching Country File as well. So they probably watched the end of Country File while the credits went up. They probably made a cup of tea, realised Doctor Who was on and switched it off. So I don't even think 2 million people tuned in to watch live. We're probably looking at around, I'm being honest, I reckon even half that tuned in. I reckon even half that tuned in, right? And it's only these so-called fans, and it actually proves that a lot of them are not actually watching. So all these thousands that are supposed to be out there that are on Twitter abusing fans, well, it looks like even some of you are not watching and you're being lying through your teeth. Very sad, very sad. I mean, I watched the whole era. You know, I mightn't have liked it, but at least I sat there and watched it and didn't pretend to watch it. And I've said this about a lot of these people. You can tell that they haven't watched an episode because they'll always talk about the things that people talk about in the episodes, but they never bring up, you know, they never actually go in deep with their analysis, because, you know, they're only taking bullet points from what everybody else is talking about. They haven't actually watched the episode, and it's proved it. It's an utterly disgrace. It's a disgrace. And let's hope RTD can turn this around, because if he can't even turn it around, it's done. It's done. And I'd say just
BBC
shelve
won't
it.
take another chance on it if
Just
RTD can't do it.
Just shelve it then if it doesn't work. But look, I have faith in him. See what happens. But that Doctor Who magazine coming out with that was quite telling. And the fact that Radio Times and other people now are reporting on it. And that's why Matt Stevens has come out and actually said his bit, you know, because someone has to defend it. Do you notice though, right? And I'll just say this one thing before we do leave, right? Do you notice that it's Matt Stevens defending this.
Yeah, not
Where's
Chibnall.
Where's Chris Chibnall, the creator of this rubbish?
He's hiding. I told you they've sent Matt out as the sacrifice.
Again, yes, exactly. Again, he's hiding. Will he show up at that Comic-Con with Jodie Whittaker? I wonder. Very interested to see. Be very interesting to see. But look, we're going to leave it there. I'll get everybody to do their channel shout-outs. And as I said, join me tomorrow because there'll be more discussion. We'll read this article and we'll have a laugh, yeah? And we'll see if there's any comments as well in the articles. Because I love reading the comments do be quite telling when you go into these articles. I noticed, though, over the last 5 years, I remember almost every article that was thrown up, you could go into the comment section and have a look at people's comments. I noticed during this era that they stopped showing the comments that you had to sign in and stuff like that. I wonder if that'll start changing now that RTD is back, because that was one thing I did notice. But be interesting to see if there's any comments. Now, PD is throwing the channels in the chat, but I'll get the panel to call them their channels out. So we'll start with Charlotte.
Yeah, so you'll see me on the Facebook with Dan, because I did the Life on Mars stream actually, which is really good fun with him last week. My memory works. And then this Friday, me and Daniel are back from our little break, and we're doing and join us with Wendyology. Here we go, I can't say her name. For our excellent conversations with.
Fantastic, PD.
Okay, you normally find me, as everybody knows, on Rabbis or wrenching around the net, but I'll also be with Dave Travels Through Time tomorrow to do a little rundown on Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Fantastic, real super doctor. Okay, maybe not real super doctor.
He's muted.
Lee.
Yeah.
You know what to do.
Yeah.
Find you where
on the cesspool of Twitter.
Twitty
being problem. Yeah.
Yes.
Fucking hateful place. And my other channel, which is Ordred Audio Visual AUD.
Do you want to do your Jack Rabbit podcast?
Yeah, and also Jack Main's channel, Drawing Jack Rabbit, which is one word, Drawing Jack Rabbit. And there's a video conversation between me and Jack Main about RTD 1 and the potential of 2.
Fantastic. It's real super doctor. We got you there.
Thank you.
No, he's still muted.
Okay, so you can find Real Super Doctor at Real Super Fugitive Doctor, I think it is, on Twitter. And you can find him on his John Calgary, I cannot say second, his YouTube channel. There you go. John PD has put it up. I'm getting all confused there. Right, we'll leave it there. For some weird reason, his internet he had issues, so he's probably zoned out, and we just haven't seen it yet. Oh, he hasn't seen it yet. Right, we'll leave it there. Anyway, back tomorrow. I want to thank me panel. Thank you. Thanks everybody in the chat, and don't forget, we're back tomorrow. Then we got Wednesday, we got Cobra Kai, so come and join us for that as well. That should be a laugh like it was last week, so join us for that. Lee will be on that panel as well. So yeah, fun times ahead. Right, good night, folks. Have a good one.
Good night.
See you soon.
Night.
Bye-bye.